greet you in Jesus' name. Are you feeling hungry today? I want to give you some bread to eat. Can you see that beautiful brown loaf coming out of the oven? It smells delicious. Jesus said, I am the bread of life. Jesus said, you know, that the Israelites, when they were in the desert, they got manna from heaven every day. But they were hungry at the end of that day. Every day they had to have manna. Otherwise they starved. Jesus says, the bread that I give you, you'll never hunger. And the water that I give you, you'll never thirst again. Isn't that wonderful? Jesus is the bread of life. Let's look at John, the Gospel of John, chapter 6 and verse 35. And Jesus said to them, I am the bread of life. He who comes to me shall never hunger, and he who believes in me shall never thirst. We go on a little bit more to verse 48. He says it again, I am the bread of life. There's a nice memory verse for somebody. John chapter 6 verse 48. Sir, you can preach on that verse for years. I am the bread of life. If ever we were faced with a starving world, it's now. A world that is full of malnutrition. A world that is hungering right now as I speak to you. They need the bread of life. Without bread, my dear friend, you will surely die. Bread comes in different forms. If we go into Central Africa, they will eat bread made of maize meal. If you go to Italy, they make bread made of certain types of flour. If you go to Israel, there's unleavened bread, but it's all bread. And if you don't eat it, you won't live any longer. But of course, you and I are not talking about physical bread, are we? No, we are talking about spiritual bread. My late dad was in the Second World War. He was taken prisoner of war, and he was in a prisoner of war camp for 3 years and 6 months. He understood what it meant to be hungry. And he used to say to me when I was a young man, he used to say to me, Angus, always remember one thing. A hungry stomach has got no conscience. What does that mean, madam? It means when you are starving, you will do anything for food. You will do anything for food. I want to say to you, there are some of you that I'm talking to right now are starving and you don't know what to do. Some of you are going to the wrong areas to find that food. It might be drugs, it might be alcohol, it might be lust, it might be anything, and you are not being satisfied, because only the bread of life will satisfy your hunger, and his name is Jesus, and he is the Christ. There is a gaping abyss. You know what an abyss is? I looked it up in the dictionary. It is a catastrophic situation, a mass hunger in the world today, where people are grasping for something to eat, but they don't know what they're looking for. That is where you and I come into play. Like that little boy who took his 2 sardines and his 5 barley loaves and he brought them to the Messiah. That's all he had. And Jesus took them, he prayed over them, he multiplied them, and he fed 5,000 men. That's not including women and children. And they collected up 12 baskets of leftovers. I want to tell you, I've said it many times before on this same program. I don't believe that little boy was the only person in that vast crowd that had food to eat. He was the only one who had the decency to offer it to Jesus. What have you got that you can give to a starving world? His name is Jesus Christ, and he alone will satisfy every need. Until next time, God bless you, and goodbye.